If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard with you live downtown Las Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot. Big Friday edition lined up here today. Really strong guests as always. Steve Wiss, Best Bets in Soccer, coming up in an hour. Adam Hill to react to the Raiders draft. Was it Genty all along? And Dennis Bernstein later on the ever-increasing dramatics that we've had in the NHL playoffs, by the way. Some of the stuff is awesome in that sport. We'll begin by recapping what took place in the draft, and we'll update you on current numbers as they keep changing for the 33rd pick tonight overall and the team to select Shedeur Sanders, who, of course, did not go last night. People who, there's a chart, Paulie, to grade trades and how much was given up in a deal. And if you assume that the pick next year that the Browns will get from Jacksonville will be in the middle of the first round, the Browns blew away Jacksonville with the trade in terms of value overall for the picks that they're going to be getting in return.
Yeah, I didn't like it, though. I stick and I stay and I make the pick.
You keep Hunter.
Yes. Factory of sadness. Haven't had a deep playoff run since the mid-'80s. Everyone's excited. Here we go. We're going to take this guy, game changer. Like Rizzo told us last week, Hunter's got to be the guy. I take the guy. So now it's the waiting game, and now we'll see what you do and who the quarterback's going to be and what the other decision's going to be and what you do with the other picks as well. And But kudos to Jacksonville, too, though. You love somebody,
sure.
Their attitude
you go make
is,
it happen.
I don't care about the picks. Bleep them.
Now, here's the thing.
We think we have a game changer, and this is going to do wonders for our fan base as well, and we're going to get Hunter.
I mean, it's very easy to fall in love with the potential of Travis Hunter at the NFL level. I don't know if I can trust Jacksonville to make it work, though. I'm sorry, their history, and it's a new coach all the time and just new regime, and maybe this is going to be the right guy to come in and take over and say, no, I got a game plan here, and we're going to make Hunter work on both sides of the ball because you have to utilize. You're not going to take him just to play him at corner, and you're not going to take him at number 2 and trade up like that just to play a wide receiver. You're going to play him both ways. You have to. Otherwise, you're not going to make that deal.
Wow, that started off with a bang, though, too. I mean, that's incredible. I think, whoop, on the clock, here we go. We got to trade. Pick number 2. That's nuts.
We're out watching the draft last night and the games at Stadium Swim. I turned my head for a second. I'm like, wait a second. The pick is in, and they traded up to do it? What did I miss?
Mm-hmm.
Came out of nowhere.
Yes. So that's a shocker, and that your drafts, your bets, a lot of everything goes up in smoke as a result, because then you have Graham going 5th, and all of a sudden, wow, all the Genty stuff was wrong, and Genty falls into the lap of the Raiders at 6. While I would stay and take Hunter if I'm Cleveland, I'll tell you, Ward better be a star. You better be an all-pro, and he better lead them to the playoffs, because you touched on this earlier in the week. If you're Tennessee and you're going to stay and turn down the 3rd pick, the 2026 first-round pick from the Giants, and 2 other picks, the Giants were willing to give that up to move up 2 spots.
Yep.
2 spots, and they said no.
Yeah, if I'm Tennessee, I don't even know if I hesitate. I absolutely take that deal.
That's a snap call.
I mean, you have to think that Cam Ward is going to come in and forget Pro Bowler. He's going to have to be a borderline Hall of Famer.
To say no to that?
Right,
yes.
because again, think about this. The Giants have a chance to be the worst team in the NFL or right there again next year. All right? So there's a chance where they could get the number 1 pick in the draft next year. Speaking of Tennessee, because the Giants might be picking number 1 overall. They could be that bad. And if that's the case, again, there's that scenario where Arch Manning, is he going to come out? Some people say that he won't. He's going to stay in Texas. He loves it, and he's going to get tons of NIL money. And if that happens, so be it. But you can control the draft again next year if you would like. And they said no to that? I couldn't believe it when that report came out. Adam Schefter had it. I'm like, Paul, are you seeing the details here? And they said no to that? They got to be out of their minds.
Yeah.
And by the way, Cam Ward last December, 7-1 to go number 1 overall. And he turned into minus 50,000 last night.
Yeah.
Foregone conclusion. And Shedeur Sanders was minus 250 months ago.
This I can't explain. The real story and the truth has to come out. And when's it going to? Because you're right. In December, he's minus 250 to go number one overall. And then even January, February, he's going to go 1, 2, or 3. Is it going to be Ward? Is it going to be Sanders? What happens? And then going back to December and January, Raiders fans, please lose so we can get this guy and he can be our quarterback.
Right.
And then 2,500. You got to risk 2,500 to win 100 that he would go in the first round. I'm not saying he's got to go number 1, number 2, or number 3, but then he doesn't even go in the first round. So then also the timing, and a lot of people who work at NFL Network and ESPN said that's ridiculous, put your name on it, all this anonymous report and these sources, quote, the worst formal interview I've ever seen in my life, entitled, never plays on time, horrible body language, blames teammates, not that good. Mm-hmm. And then now it's, where's he going to go? And I don't think Cleveland takes him. I don't think the Raiders, there's got to be something going on here. More to the story, how the guy can't even go in the first round.
Right. Okay, I get all the off-the-field stuff that you said, and also like the blaming the teammates that is on the field.
Yes.
But he's not that good? Are we sure about that?
I don't think that's fair, right?
I don't think that's fair at all.
Yeah.
Like, but if you didn't have a first-round grade on him, that's fine. But to sit here and say that the kid can't play and he's no good, now you're being a little too opinionated with that. I think that's completely over the top. He's a good football player, and he's a solid quarterback. The other stuff, fine. I have no retort to that. If that's all true, then it is what it is.
Well, is it with the problems with the dad or what? I don't want to be in the Sanders business. I don't know. I mean, a guy I trust who's told me 10 minutes notice, bam, here comes the trade. Here, get ready for it. They're going to trade and take Dart. I mean, I heard also that Sanders called the Giants and said, you better take me at 3 or don't bother taking me. Well, and then word got out through around the league and just say, this guy's going to be a headache and a problem. But do with that what you want too. So this is just, it's absolutely bizarre that you see. I don't know when he's going to go. Milroe could go before this guy.
I would not be surprised. No, we'll play you a piece of audio coming up here from Adam Schefter in a second from earlier today on NFL Live. Pretty strong on Shedeur Sanders. Before that, the odds for the 33rd pick tonight, they keep changing. Earlier today, Travion Henderson was 10-1. Our producer Luke made the drive to Arizona to bet it. By the time he was able to get it, he got 5-1. Henderson is now plus 105. And before the show started, Shedeur Sanders he moved back to a minus 125 favorite. He's now around pick'em to go 33rd overall. This keeps changing. Also, the Browns just moved to minus 130 to take the guy overall. But if they don't take him there tonight to begin the second round of the draft, the Raiders are plus 105. The Saints are 7-1. The Saints aren't taking him. And the Steelers are now 10-1. I have a ticket on. I'd like to win this because I lost a lot of bets last night. I had 2 that saved me a little bit, but not enough. I have the Steelers at 5-1 to take him. But I think I'm going to need a slide. Maybe this is what's going to have to happen. Here's Adam Schefter not that long ago today on NFL Live on ESPN.
Tyler Shuck is going to figure in there tonight, and I won't be surprised if Tyler Shuck goes ahead of Shedeur Sanders tonight. Can you imagine if Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuck both wind up being drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders? I think there are not a lot of teams that love the idea of drafting Shedeur, and I think now we're at the point where unless he goes in the 3rd round, number 83, to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had a discussion about him on the board at number 21, I think we may get a team that we never connected to him.
That is nuts.
Yeah, it is. What do you think? Can you expand? Give me the reasons. Why don't you want to be in the Sanders business? Mm-hmm. Is this anonymous source onto something? How much of it is true? He's supposed to go top 5. He's supposed to be a guaranteed top 10 pick.
Right.
He doesn't even go. He might go in the 80s. I don't think the Browns take him. I've been told the Raiders aren't taking him. I mean, now you're getting in the 50s, 60s, 70s here. Milroe and Shuck could go ahead of the guy. What is going on?
Well, evidently, and again, we were at Stadium Swim last night thanks to Dr. John for renting out the cabana. It was a great time as always. What a spot to watch events out here at Circa Las Vegas. They did not have the audio on, and evidently that was a good thing. And for those of you in the audience right now, you can always email the show, ftm@vsin.com, and we're on X as well, at vsin live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard. My timeline today on X was littered with people saying that the complaining on the ESPN broadcast, specifically from Mel Kiper, was that's all the broadcast was. Mm-hmm. So maybe it was a good thing that we did not have the audio on last night.
Okay.
Because that you cannot have that dominate the entire thing. If the guy slides, fine, but he can't take over the entire draft.
Yeah, there's too much going on.
It's more than just him involved here, obviously.
Yeah, it goes back to the Aaron Rodgers in the green room. Kept showing him. It's like Brady Quinn, whoever it may be, yeah.
So the Steelers at 83. Can we get an updated draft position on him, by the way? That's nuts.
Another
with
good
him.
one. Yes, I know. 14.5 over minus $5. What eventually went off at once you're talking about 8.5, the 14.5, and
wasn't there a book that moved him to 21.5 because the thought was right there, it's Pittsburgh or nobody in the first round?
Yeah, that happened too. I'll tell you, and I know a lot of books don't take a lot of action on this with him, but I think the dart landing spot could have been a disaster because he went from 21.5 to 25.5 back to 24.5, and then that's where the trade happened.
Right. Oh, jeez.
So imagine everyone could have won on that prop.
Right. I will give you this today, too, if you can find it. The odds have completely shifted. This is nuts. To go 34th overall, I was tipped off today that it's going to be this wide receiver Higgins. Earlier today, he was 23-1, and I couldn't find it anywhere. But some offshore books had it. Now, the last I saw it was minus 190.
Oh, wow.
Higgins to go 34 overall.
Okay.
That's pretty strong.
That is. But it goes back to what Doug Kazarian said with us earlier in the week, though. Why put this up, book it, and you just some people who just love to chase steam. Yeah. And it's like, okay, this appears to be solid info and can get there, but a lot of the stuff was wrong. And one trade can blow it up, and the Bears-Genty thing never happened.
I'll give you one where books should have cleaned house yesterday. It should have been Banks to the Raiders. Everybody mocked him there. All the key insiders mocked him there
tweets,
in 24 hours leading up to that. Pete Carroll, the giveaways. Oh, they're going to go Banks.
Right. Yeah, but if there's a trade, we didn't expect him to be here. Oh, we got to take him.
And then his odds completely shifted throughout the entire day, and he went off his odds on.
Yes, unlock your winning edge with a great offer. Full VSiN Pro access. Everything we do through August 1st is $59, half off the regular monthly price. The daily email recapping all the best bets from hosts and guests. Bill 80's on it every morning. The betting splits from DraftKings and Circa. Every sport, every edge, one low price. August 1st, $59. VSiN.com/subscribe. What a deal.
One draft pundit expects to see a run on this position earlier tonight. File that away for gambling purposes, and odds are already out for Rookie of the Year.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Welcome aboard. We're live downtown Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is a spot. Busy hour coming up. A lot of props to get into today. Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NHL. More on the baseball card as well. NFL Draft. And here we have best bets in soccer as Steve Wiss joins the program. He's on the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow Steve on X. He's at Meatman Soccer. Also the Nordic Football Pod, and Because We Win. Steve, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm doing okay. Losing day for me, sadly, on the soccer. A game in Germany let me down today, but I'm looking ahead to the weekend. Loads of big soccer action in Europe.
Yep, very good. And you have a ton of bets here. Let's begin with the Prim tomorrow on Saturday. You have a bet that you like around plus 350 on Brighton and West Ham. What do you have here?
I'm going to go West Ham draw no bet here. Plus 350. I really think it's a big price, and you might look at the recent form, and a lot of people we put off by West Ham. They've not won any of the last 6 games, but it's been quite a while since Brighton have won as well. I think it feels to me like Brighton just want the season to end. There was an interesting interview after the West Ham match last week. One of their strikers, Nicholas Füllkrug, completely lost his cool in an interview, and he was basically accusing the rest of the players that they lack motivation, drive, not professional enough. It was very unusual. This doesn't normally happen over here. You wouldn't get a player openly criticise his teammates for much. And I just think there's going to be a big reaction from West Ham this week because of this. I think the manager's going to have to play this guy, Füllkrug, and put him up front as a striker. He's actually plus 400 to score. Now, let's see if he can put his money where his mouth is and perform himself. So that would be an interesting side prop for the game. But I do think after, the week that West Ham have had, the criticism they've had, that we're going to see a lot of reaction. So plus 350 on the draw no bet looks a big price. Brighton are never a very good favourite, and I don't trust them at all.
Nigel thinks Newcastle buries Ipswich Town and they're going to get relegated. But you see it a different way. Do you see a high-scoring affair with Newcastle?
Well, yeah, I do actually agree with Nigel. I think this could be a big Newcastle win. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they put 4 or 5 goals past Ipswich. Ipswich, if they lose the game or if they even draw the game, they're officially relegated. They're down anyway because of goal difference. They conceded, I've just got the stats here, 71 goals this season. That's nearly 2.5 goals a game. Newcastle are the second highest scoring team at home. The highest scoring home team in the Premier League is actually Manchester City this season. That'll surprise quite a few people. But Newcastle really, really strong at home. I'm going to back over 3.5 goals at minus 110. So, Newcastle could cover this goal line all on their own.
Yep.
And it wouldn't surprise me if they did. But I just want to cover for an Ipswich goal because I just got a feeling they're going to go down swinging. They do have a very good striker in Liam Delap, who I think some decent Premier League teams will probably buy him this summer. He's good enough for a mid-table sort of team. So with him in the side, there's always a goal threat. So I just want to cover for that Ipswich goal. But I see this being like 4-1, 5-1 to Newcastle. I like the goals. For those who want to get on the handicap, absolutely. That's a good bet as well.
Liverpool's going to win the Prem. How do you want to treat their first half match against Tottenham?
Yeah, it's going to be party time in Liverpool.
Yes.
They just need 1 point. Yeah, 1 point to win the Premier League. They're going to have no problems getting that point against a terrible Spurs team for me, and a Spurs team who are completely focused on a match just 4 days later in the Europa League. That's a competition they've got to win to save their season. So Spurs aren't really going to care too much about this game. It's going to be, a party atmosphere in the Liverpool game. I'm going to take the bet I'm going to take is halftime, full time. Basically, Liverpool to be winning at halftime and full time. I think they're going to come out the traps really strong here, get the job done in the first half, score 2 or 3 goals, and then the second half, everyone can enjoy themselves. They can bring on the players that need appearances to get a championship medal, things like that. The crowd can enjoy themselves, and Tottenham will quite happily have a quiet second half as well. So rather than worrying about handicaps, goal lines, and needing stuff to happen in the second half, I think the second half could be a non-event here. It could just be a celebration of things and really a bit of a damp squib. So I think half-time, full-time at minus 133. Half-time, full-time on Liverpool.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. We only have 2 matches left in the lower leagues. Do you have any futures that are coming down to the wire here or could be decided?
Yeah, Leeds. I'm on my own team to win the league. We have now achieved promotion, but we've got to win the last 2 games to guarantee the title against Burnley. I also need Middlesbrough. To get into the top 6. I'm going to talk about them soon. That would be a good one for me. Birmingham City was a good one for me in League One. I think a lot of people were on that ticket, weren't they, for them to win League One. They're a really popular selection, had a really good squad. But I've not got anything else really in the lower leagues.
Okay, so you mentioned it. Let's go to the Championship League. They need to get top 6. I think they're in 7th right now. Middlesbrough against Norwich, and the total is 3 Saturday.
It's got to be over goals because it's an all-or-nothing game for Middlesbrough. It was the same last week, actually. They had to win the game against Sheffield Wednesday. They ended up losing it because they just gambled the whole house at the end and they conceded a late goal. And that could happen again here. It's win or go home for Borough. They've got to get a result. And Norwich have just actually sacked their manager. There's been a few teams that have got rid of their manager before the end of the season. I thought a lot of these managerial moves would happen in May, perhaps in June, but some teams have got so frustrated with their manager. So I do actually think Norwich might have some sort of a reaction here. Some players might be fighting for their future, a new contract, things like that. So they might actually put forth some more effort than normal. The reverse fixture ended a 3-3 draw. And the style of these 2 teams that play is very attack-minded. Norwich do actually have goals in them. They've got 2 players in the team who are the highest scoring players in the division apart from Joel Pirro. Josh Sargent, the US striker, he's usually good for a goal. So I think the Asian goal line of 3 on the overs is worth taking here. I really hope Middlesbrough win this game to get themselves back in that playoff race, the top 6 race. But I think the goals angle is a better bet rather than taking them on the money line.
Follow the money, Paulie and Mitch Visa, the Sports Betting Network. The Meat Man, Steve Wiss, our guest. Because We Win Pod, Nordic Sports Pod as well. At Meat Man Soccer on X, he's on the progressive guest line. We have the FA Cup. Is this the semis? It's tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, so Man City at Nottingham Forest, total of 2.5.
Yeah, the first semi-final is Crystal Palace against Villa on the Saturday. And then on Sunday, we've got Nottingham Forest, Manchester City.
Thank you.
I really like under goals here. I think under 2.5 goals, you can get plus money on this, plus 102. The last time the two teams met, Nottingham Forest won 1-0. It was a really tight and cagey game. Nottingham Forest are really good defensively this season. They are going to set themselves up to frustrate Manchester City the best they can and try and hit them on the counter-attack. And I think it's going to be quite effective because, they did this 2 years ago against an incredible Manchester City team. City would find a way to break them down. They've got the quality. But I don't think this Manchester City team without Erling Haaland is going to be able to do that. So I think that it's going to be going on and on and on, 0-0. This could be 0-0 half-time. I think draw at half-time is a good bet as well. And then the second half, depending how Man City play it, if Manchester City start to overcommit, Nottingham Forest have got a chance of actually winning this game. But I do think in the 90 minutes, this will not include the extra time, by the way. This is just fully in the 90 minutes for under 2.5 goals to happen. It's just simply based on the Nottingham Forest being an excellent defensive unit, well set up, and Manchester City likely to get frustrated. I just don't really fancy any Manchester City players to score that many goals here, unless maybe Kevin De Bruyne produce a magical moment from a free kick or something. I think Forest have got every chance of actually making the final, guys.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. So you rattled off a lot of bets here. If you had to put the label of best bet on any of them, which one would it be?
I think the best bet has got to be over 3.5 goals, Newcastle against Ipswich. That could be quite a big number there,
Okay, very good. So we almost exclusively talk soccer with, or as you call it over there, obviously football, as it's known across the world. Here in America, we call it soccer. How about American football? You are an American football fan. Did you get involved at all with betting the NFL draft last night?
Yeah, I was advised to take the second quarterback drafted, Jackson Dart, who he came off the board. The Giants have got him, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I did hear that the Deion Sanders' son, was not fancied as much to do well. He's still not picked, is he? So, yeah, I had a bet on that. And, I do watch it. I'm a Ravens fan. I think the Ravens drafted a good player. And certainly keeping my eyes on the Cleveland Browns. In all my time following American football, I don't think there's a team that's had more picks than the Cleveland Browns. Like, seriously. They have so many picks. Yeah. Every year. And the same thing just seems to happen with the Cleveland Browns. So I'm interested to see who they're going to pick at 33.
Yeah. Henderson was 10-1 earlier today. Now he's like around plus 105 to go 33rd tonight. So you can follow Steve on X. He's at Man Soccer, 2 podcasts as well. Nordic Football Pod and Because We Win. That was great, Steve. Thanks for the time today. Good luck.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
See
you next time.
Yep. Back at you. There you go. All right. So a lot of bets there. And his best one would be the Newcastle game, Ipswich over 3.5, which the juice is now, it's like moving. So if you can find minus 110 out there, definitely hit that if you like it. I'm seeing minus 115 or higher now at some spots.
NBA playoffs are here. So is the VSiN Killer Sports NBA Playoff Challenge. We've invited 15 sharp minds from the world of VSiN and Killer Sports to go head-to-head, making 38 picks each from the start of the playoffs all the way through the NBA Finals. A total of 570 picks, all available to VSiN Pro subscribers. Picks are locked in 1 hour before the first game each day. Fresh insights to guide your bets every step of the postseason, and get full VSiN Pro access through August 1st for just $59. Don't miss this great edge. VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up today. August 1st, $59, VSiN.com/subscribe.
I'm in the contest. Not going so hot for me. I'm near the bottom. Can't win a game in the NBA. We'll try to correct that tonight and into the weekend. Up next, more on the NFL draft. You're not going to believe what Adam Schefter said about an hour and a half ago about what could happen tonight to Shedeur Sanders.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We're live in downtown Las Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot. Busy hour coming up. More on tonight's schedule in the playoffs. Dennis Bernstein on the NHL in 30 minutes. In pocket plays to close up shop. And here we head out to the Progressive guest line as Adam Hill joins the program. Does a great job covering the Las Vegas Raiders for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Adam, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm good. Just ready for another long night here at the team facility out in Henderson. Wish I was down hanging with you guys at the stadium swim yesterday. It looked like a good time.
Well, yesterday was fun, but last night had to be pretty cool as well. I mean, you did a mock draft as well. You had Genty going to the Bears, actually trading up to number 5 overall, if I recall correctly. Yeah. So what was Genty the pick all along for the Raiders, or did that completely change once Jacksonville moved up to number 2 and the Browns were then picking at number 5?
Yeah, I mean, I think they had several contingencies, as any good team does, for sure. I think that there was certainly some concern that either the Jaguars would take him because, it seemed like the Jaguars wanted a difference maker, a playmaker that they could bring in. So I think there was some concern they would take him. But I feel like once the Jaguars moved up, it was pretty solidified that Ashton Genty was going to be the guy for them. It didn't sound like that going into the draft. I think the last couple of days, they felt like it was way too obvious that they were leaning toward Ashton Genty, so they kind of started to send out some signals that maybe they weren't. Maybe they're going a different direction. There's certainly some talk of offensive line the last couple of days, maybe to just throw everybody off the scent. But to me, I thought Genty was going to go because I thought some team was going to move up ahead of the Raiders to take him. And I think the Jaguars probably would have traded down if they couldn't move up in that draft. If they couldn't have got to 2, I think they might have traded down, maybe even to the Bears, somebody like that, and gone with Ashton Genty. But it turned out the Raiders had him available. I do still feel like, everybody around here obviously forever will say Ashton Genty was always the pick no matter what. I feel like if Mason Graham was also on the clock, it would have been a different or difficult decision, even if they had Ashton Genty as the guy, even if they said, hey, he's on our board, he's the number 1 guy, we're going to take him. I think when it actually comes down to being on the clock, you look at a difference-making defensive tackle and a difference-making running back, you almost have to take the defensive tackle in that situation. But when it comes down to running back, who could be a generational type player, a lot of people believe that, or an offensive tackle who maybe has some question marks like Banks, like Membu. Membu only playing really on the right side. Banks, there were some questions too. If you don't feel like they are slam dunk home runs, I understand why you pivot away and go running back. I would never take a running back in the top 10. It just wouldn't happen if I was running an organization. But you understand why this was a pretty unique situation for the Raiders to be in, where it kind of superseded positional value and opportunity cost and roster construction and all those things.
Was the bank stuff then just a smokescreen? Because his odds were plummeting throughout the day, went off odds on when our show ended, but also, and you're very good on Twitter, right? Pete Carroll sends out the signals. He did that like in the clues that he did with Seattle. And you immediately notice, like, okay, there's a Will Smith thing. Well, that's the Banks family. And then
there's the standoff.
Look, the floor is yours. You can crush Paul. I hope that you would actually just like swing for the fences here. He's still never seen the show The Office. But the second one was like the Texas was the Texas standoff. And you're like, okay, it's got to be Banks. But, so that was it. Yeah.
It's Seinfeld, it's Curb, and it's The Office.
Really?
That's the 3 shows. So 3 shows. I'm not even putting in order. I'm saying those are the 3 shows. That you have to watch.
How many seasons? That's the thing. I'm like, oh boy, I got to watch. Isn't it like 12 seasons or something?
No, it's 9. But I'll tell you this: you can probably cut it off after 5 or 6.
Yes, correct.
Oh, all right. Okay, go ahead. Texas.
I'll watch the old episodes, but once Steve Carell leaves, especially, you can tap out if you want. So you can just get through those. Phenomenal television. Paul, you should jump into. So Pete Carroll, for those that don't know, and we haven't. I'll offer another caveat at the end. Pete Carroll throughout the years has done a Twitter clue, kind of a scavenger hunt of who the team is going to pick. He's been with the Seahawks in the past. There's some pretty good ones. He posted like 6 random photos. Was it the year they took Devin Witherspoon? He posted like 6 random photos on Twitter throughout the day, and people were like, "This makes no sense. There's no connection. What is he even doing?" And then they took Devin Witherspoon, and everybody said, "Oh, these are 6 people that have starred in a movie with Reese Witherspoon." Like, Okay, he was telling us all along he's taking Devin Witherspoon, but there's really no connection until you find out who the pick is. So Pete Carroll picked up that tradition again yesterday, threw out a bunch of tweets. I know there was big movement when it looked like everything was leaning toward Kelvin Banks in those tweets, but two things. One, I don't think Pete Carroll runs that himself. I think that he has somebody that runs his Twitter account for him. I heard it was somebody in his family, maybe his daughter, that runs his social media. So it's kind of tough to ask him, like, hey, what do these tweets mean? When I don't think he necessarily even knows. So that's one part of it. And the other part, like, I do believe he leaves some things intentionally vague enough that if they don't end up getting their guy, because there's no guarantee you're going to get the person that you're indicating in these tweets.
Sure.
I think he leaves it vague enough that he could change it and say, oh, this is what I meant by that. And maybe change up the narrative a little bit. But yeah, he definitely moved some numbers yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
With some of those tweets. There's no question about it.
Okay, so today, 5th pick, 37th overall. You've been on this for years, and we think alike. Don't win meaningless games down the stretch and blow your draft pick. And so, but this happened again. They do it every year. But the talk going back to December and January was tank, get Sanders, finally get a quarterback, let's go. So with the Brady influence, even the president's upset getting involved here about how come no one took Sanders. Could this happen now at pick 37? What's the game plan? Walk us through it.
Well, so here's the thing. I would start by saying I think, and I talked a lot about roster building and positional value and stuff yesterday, and I've done this a lot, and fans are furious with me. I think taking a running back in the first round means you no longer have the luxury of taking a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
At least in the first 2 or 3 rounds, right? I mean, you've got so many holes to fill. You use it on a running back, which is a great player. I think Ashton Jeanty might be the best player in the draft, but because it's not a position of value, you can't use now a pick on a backup quarterback that's not going to play for a while. I mean, unless you have him off the charts ahead of everybody else, or unless Tom Brady says, hey, that's my guy, signed him to an NIL deal, worked out with Deion Sanders worked out with Shedeur and Deion for so long. Like, we have to take him. I mean, if that happens, then I guess all bets are off. But I think from a value standpoint, you can't use a pick on a backup quarterback now. Now, they don't have to care about value. They didn't yesterday by taking a running back. So maybe they don't care about that at all. But I think this was put, and I'll give credit to somebody who pointed this out on Twitter, because it just enlightened me so much to say, oh, yeah, that's what's going on here. Like, this is not a team. In my mind, you should play for the future, try to build a championship contender for 3-4 years from now. That should be your goal with every move. And it was Kevin Cole, really good analytics guy on Twitter, who said the Raiders have played this entire offseason like a team that wants to make sure their floor is not as low as it has been in the past. Like, they want to raise their floor. And that is how they're taking care. That's every decision they've made is to make sure they're not like a 4-13 team. Like, they're trying to absolutely make sure that they're a 7-10 team instead of a 4-13 team. And on the surface, I think that's incredibly silly and short-sighted. And why would you do that? But I think there is part of me thinking, okay, maybe this is the wise thing to do. What Pete Carroll is here to do is build a foundation, build something that hasn't been here before. They haven't had any winning culture. They haven't had any winning tradition. Obviously, Pete Carroll's not here for 10 years. And so instead of, hey, let's go all in to try to win everything and say 3-4 years from now, it's, hey, let's show that we can win consistently. Let's show that we can be a 7-win team, then a 9-win team, and then build it up like that. And I think when you look at that perspective, that kind of changes a lot of what they're doing. So I think they do need to find somebody that is going to be an impact player like this year, kind of help them out and try to win some games, because that does seem to be what they're doing. They're trying to make sure that they're 7-10 instead of 4-13, which, again, I don't think that's the way I would do it, but it's pretty clear that's what they're doing.
Yeah, well, what do you make of the current odds right now then? Because the Raiders are picking 5th tonight in the second round. That's 37th overall in the draft. And at FanDuel, and this has shifted, Adam, since the beginning of our show, but the Raiders are now minus 220 to take Shedeur Sanders. The Browns are sitting there at picks number 33 overall and 36, so they're picking 1st and 4th tonight. They're plus 220, and the odds go down from that. Steelers are plus 280, then it gets into the Saints, the Jets, the Rams, and so on and so forth. Any thought on any of those numbers or teams there outside of the Raiders?
I mean, I feel like the Browns kind of need to have a quarterback at some point. I feel like there's a good reason the Raiders are connected to Shedeur for all the reasons that it has been in the past. And I kind of referenced it, but the fact that, you know, when Tom Brady had a company or he started his company, his first NIL deal that he signed was with Shedeur. He's always been a Sanders guy. Like, all of these things make sense that he would come here. But look, every team had a chance on him yesterday and passed. And I think there's reasons why. they have passed. I don't think it's wrong that the Raiders are favored in this situation, but I really don't see it happening with this pick. I mean, who knows? We're going to get off the air here and run back in and see what they do, and I'll get a text and say they're taking Shedeur Sanders, and that'd be wild to me. And like I said, I think yesterday disqualified them from taking a backup quarterback in the first 3 rounds because they just don't have the capital. They need the starters, but you never know. I wouldn't think they'd take a running back either, and they did. So it's crazy, but they could do it. I understand why they're the favorite. I just don't see it.
Fair enough. Adam, we have about a minute left here. You also cover the Golden Knights. They're in a hole now, big time against the Wild. Would you bet on the Golden Knights to come back and win this series?
So they're right around pick'em now, right? I heard they're maybe minus 105.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the worst idea. They've done a lot of this themselves. The Wild have been good, but the Golden Knights have just really, really shot themselves in the foot a lot, particularly some of the defensemen. I don't think that happens again. I think they tighten up, they stiffen up their game a little bit, and I think it's a much different effort tomorrow. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but I think they bounce back and win, and at that point, they'd be a pretty big favorite in the series, so I think there could be some value there.
All right, there you go. You can follow Adam on X. He's at Adam Hill, LVRJ. You can read him as well in the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Enjoy round 2 tonight at the Raiders facility, my man.
Oh, yeah, and 3. Don't forget. Fun night.
And there you go, the whole night. Yep. He's spot on with that. Don't forget about round 3 as well. Okay, follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Paulie. We will get into the NBA and the NHL schedule up next. Here we go again. Big differences in the first quarter and first half numbers pretty much across the board. We'll detail it for you coming up here on VSiN.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's a solid night again tonight on ice and this weekend. NHL playoffs continue. They're awesome as always. We head out here to the Progressive Guest Line. As a longtime friend of the show, Dennis Bernstein joins the program now. Does a great job, has for a long time, covering the NHL on SiriusXM and also the fourthperiod.com. DB, good afternoon. How are you?
Doing great. Ready for Game 3 here in Edmonton. I expect a desperate Edmonton Oilers team tonight to try to get back into the series. But, the first 2 games, Kings, 12 goals, 5 power play goals, 50% power play execution. Those are Edmonton Oilers numbers,
yes.
Not Kings numbers. It's going to be a very intriguing game tonight here at Rogers Place.
Yeah, so you're up there in Edmonton for this game, and you do cover the league in general, but obviously you live in LA, so the Kings probably closer than any other team in the league. This has been kind of a shocking result. I know the Kings are very good, but to see the Oilers get blasted like this, not really used to seeing that. Can they make this interesting, the series, at all from a betting perspective? Like, are they going to win a couple of games here? Or is this just a one-sided affair?
I can't fathom, Mitch, that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl will get swept in 4 games. So, yeah, I picked them in 6, might be trending towards 5. I don't think it's a sweep. I think they'll find a way. Certainly, they got to get the power play on track because they haven't scored a power play goal in the series. Now, are you going to keep them off the board every single game? No. So I got to think they're going to summon something deep, dig deep, and win this game tonight. I don't think they'll win both games. So I think they'll go back to LA with the chance for the Kings to clinch it. But something's going on in Edmonton when they change goaltenders for tonight because a lot of people thought Stuart Skinner, and you can't play Stuart Skinner. They don't play good defense, the Oilers. And so that's why you could blame it on Skinner, but going to Calvin Pickett tonight is a major change for Chris between the pipes for Edmonton tonight.
You don't like the move? I agree with what you said earlier. I was wondering if there would be a goalie change to shake up the team. But, they handed the sloppy turnovers in their own zone. It's 3-2 in the last game. They handed to the Kings on a silver platter to make it. They can't stay out of the box. So it's interesting. What do you think of the change then?
I don't think it makes a difference if they're going to play defense the way they played in the first 2 games, Paulie.
Okay.
It's been atrocious. It's been too many turnovers. And the undersold part of the series is when Matthias Ekholm got hurt at the next to last game of the season when he came back, that tipped the series for me. He's their best defenseman. He keeps Bouchard out of trouble. And now they played Nurse and Bouchard in the first 2 games. It didn't work. And, they gave up 12 goals in 2 games. Like this goal, he's going to have to stand on his head, and maybe he can do it, but he's not a Vezina winner, and neither is Stuart Skinner. That was a weak link, and you want to go back to the trade deadline. A lot of people worried in Edmonton about not getting another goaltender, and now you see why. Because Skinner hasn't been good, and if they play the same type of defense, Paulie, it's going to be 3-0 Kings late tonight here in Edmonton.
Yeah, it's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Dennis Bernstein. Hold tight here, Dennis. We're going to try to reconnect in a second. He's with SiriusXM, the NHL coverage, and also fourthperiod.com. You bet the Kings, yesterday? Was it to win the West or to win
to win a cup?
To win the cup?
Oh, I had them before the series, and they win and I keep getting helped out by what's going on in the bracket. The West could be wide open here
Absolutely,
now. And I love this Kings team.
Yeah. I look at this break that you might be getting here. Now, careful what you wish for, but the way things are trending right now with the Golden Knights in the Wild, that could be kind of a dreamy scenario there for the Kings.
Yes, and also what they're doing offensively. So while this won't continue on the power play, if they're going to do this offensively, and the interesting angle tonight, also first period, remember, 21 of the last 24 games, they haven't allowed a first period goal.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing with how well they played since the deadline in the year Kemper had.
What do you think of DB's theory there? You can grab the Kings in 5 games at plus 250. Gentleman sweep? I think what he said, it made some sense, right? I mean, McDavid and Draisaitl are so good that it's really tough to see this team getting swept. And Dennis Bernstein is there now. Paulie, by the way, we were just talking about this. He bet them recently at 10-1 to win the whole thing. What are your thoughts on that?
On the Oilers?
No, the Kings.
Oh, no. Oh, Kings, good bet. Now, here's the thing. They could get to the conference final. They don't match up well against Dallas or Colorado. Right? They can beat Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. Dallas and Colorado, I'm not sure about. But it's not a bad bet. It's a better bet than betting on Vegas right now to win a cup. I'll tell you that much.
How about that?
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. So the way that's shaking out right now, and we talked about this with Adam Hill earlier, who covers the Golden Knights. They're down, and they have not been close to the better team in this series. That's been all Wild, in my opinion. It's played out like that. And now it's like almost a pick 'em to win the series. You think the Golden Knights come back and win this thing?
Maybe. I want to see game 4. Here's the thing. I'll tell you about this team, about Minnesota. Like, if Kirill Kaprizov played the entire season, 82 games, he would have won the Hart. He would have the MVP. He was the MVP when he got hurt 20 games in. Mm-hmm. They had the best record in the league 20 games in. This is not a mirage. This is not some miracle. They were a really good team. They're getting goaltending. And you know what? Vegas is a really strong team. But they look old. They look slow. Mark Stone hasn't done anything.
Yep.
Right? Now you change goaltenders in that series. You went to, this could be an upset. And look, I'm the guy who I think I had Vegas 5. I was convinced they were going to go to the conference final. I'm not convinced anymore. Minnesota's poked holes in this team. It's going to be really tough for this team to bounce back. And the thing is, Minnesota's not a great home team, but they played great at home because not only Kaprizov came back, but Arison Ek. This is a very, very different Minnesota Wild team that we saw for half the season. And it's because of the 2 guys back in the lineup.
You were high on Tampa. You weren't the only one. I mean, several people picked them to win the East. They're down 0-2 now as well. What do you think about their chances bouncing back?
Stunning outcome the first 2 games. Yep. I had Tampa and Colorado in the Cup final. I'm not looking so good. And I had the Rangers back in the day in October to win the Cup. So my predictions have been crap, to be honest with you, Paulie. Stunning outcome. Because you know what? Florida looked tired. They looked beat up down the stretch. They were 3-6-1 in their last 10. I'm like, oh, this is going to be – I picked Tampa in 5. But it shows you what quality championship players can do when it gets to game 83. And now they add Marchand right now.
Yep.
And Barkov getting knocked out by Hagel might affect it. But this is I credit the team, and I certainly credit Paul Maurice. It's the reason why they won the Cup last year. Great players and great coach. It's been a coaching clinic by Maurice. They shut out Tampa at home the other night, Paulie. That doesn't happen to that team. It's been a great effort, and for me, a stunning effort by the Florida Panthers.
Do you get anything tonight from Montreal and New Jersey to try to make this a series?
Yeah, I think the Habs win at Bell Center. I think this is the game they win. New Jersey, Paulie, dump a lot of money on Carolina. They're the worst home team in the playoffs. I think they were under 500. I think they won 19 out of 41 games at home. They don't have Jack Hughes. They scored, 2 goals? No, they're done. They're cooked. No. I would bet a sweep at this point in time. I think they're done. I think they're cooked. But the Habs, they'll win this game, but it's a consolation prize. They will not win it. They'll go out in 5.
Excellent.
Well,
you can get even money, by the way, Carolina in regulation.
Even money tonight.
At that $1.05, even in that range. Yeah, if you don't want to lay the $1.70. Yeah.
Pound that.
Pound that.
You love it.
Yeah,
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Well, I'll tell you this, by the way. If we get the teams that are currently leading their series in the Eastern Conference to the next round of the semis, the Eastern Conference semis are going to be as good as I can remember. They're good every single year, don't get me wrong, but this year the possible matchups are outstanding, Dennis.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? They're talking about the Maple Leafs not winning since '67. This is a different team. And again, coaching. In the past, when the Leafs were up 3-1 in a game in the playoffs, they try to make it 4-1 or 5-1. Not with Craig Berube. Hey, guys, you're going to protect the 2-goal lead. You're not going to go for your cookies. This is not about scoring goals. This is not about pretty plays. It's about playing defense. Right? It's not cookie night.
Yeah.
Like, this is a dangerous, dangerous team. So if you want to make a bet right now on the Leafs winning the Cup, as crazy as that sounds, because nobody's ever – and I didn't trust them. Right, I picked Ottawa in 6 because I don't trust that team in the playoffs. But when I watch them play, it's a very different style of play. Guys, it's a style of play that wins in the playoffs. They finally figured out that's how you have to play in those games against Ottawa. They're a very dangerous team. They could easily come out of the East. And you're right, Mitch. The conference, the semifinals in the East could be really, really good here this year.
I hope you're right about that, and you're allowed to change your mind as well. Less than 2 minutes. We both were on vacation last week. I saw Von Tobel and Humans had you on. I didn't recognize you. How did you lose all this weight?
You know those GLP shots and drugs that like Ozempic and stuff? I went on them in October, and I've lost 40 pounds. I was 215. I carried the weight well. It didn't look like I was overweight. I lost 40 pounds. It basically is a miracle drug that basically curbs your appetite. And it's been, and you know what? I did blood work beforehand and blood work afterwards. And my blood work's like a 25-year-old. My
really?
Everything is great. My blood pressure's down. Yeah, my cholesterol's way down. It's been amazing. It doesn't work for everybody, but it certainly worked for me. And if you're having challenges with your weight control, I would certainly advocate trying it out. And I've had no side effects, no headache, nothing. It's been a miracle for me. And I thank my wife because she started it. I jumped on board because I got some FOMO, but it's been an amazing journey for me over the last 6 months.
All good for you. You look better than ever, man. That's awesome news.
Good job, buddy.
Keep it up.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, but no cravings of like a steak, or you like to eat. No steak, nothing. You don't have any hankerings?
Yeah, no. If I order 8-ounce filet, I'll probably eat half of it.
Oh, wow.
And by the way, tell Mike Palm I don't look like Annie Lennox. And I'm going to challenge him to a Bronx Street Fight at WrestleMania 42.
We'll set that up.
We'll sell tickets to that.
Yeah, we're tied in now to the WWE after they came here for sure. Thanks, my man. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, boys. Always great being on Follow the Money.
Enjoy the game, buddy.
Follow him on X at Dennis TFP. Going to be on the coverage all weekend long on Sirius XM NHL as well. In Pocket Plays, what we're betting tonight and this weekend next year on Follow the Money.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.